In the village of Umuaka, where the moon hung low and the rivers whispered old secrets, love was a thing both beautiful and dangerous. The elders used to say, "Not every woman who smiles at you is born of the earth. Some are born of the water, others of the scales." But Ekwueme did not listen. He was a sculptor, a man whose hands could shape beauty from nothing. And that was how his destruction began, with beauty. If you love African tales, please like and subscribe for more stories like this one. Let's get back to the story. It was the time of the new moon when she came, a woman cloaked in white, walking along the riverbank at dusk. Her name was Obadiah. No one knew where she came from. She spoke softly, her accent heavy with mystery. Her skin shimmered when the sun touched it, not with sweat, but with something faintly luminous, like scales hidden beneath flesh. Ekwueme was the first to see her. He had gone to the river to fetch clay for his sculptures. When he looked up, there she was, barefoot, her feet barely sinking into the wet earth. "Who walks alone by Ume River at this hour?" Ekwueme asked. "Spirits dance here after dusk." "Then let them dance," Obadiah replied, smiling faintly. "I am not afraid of spirits." He should have turned back. But love, once it enters a man's eyes, blinds his soul. He began to meet her every evening. She told him stories of faraway lands, where the rivers sang songs and trees bore fruits of light. He would laugh, not knowing she spoke not of dreams, but of home. Soon the villagers began to whisper, "Who is the woman that has captured Ekwueme's heart?" they asked. She never ate with others. She never slept through the night. Some said they saw her walking into the forest when everyone else was asleep. One night, Mama Ejima, the oldest midwife in the village, saw her at the edge of the sacred grove. Obadiah was kneeling before a rock, whispering in a tongue not of this world. The old woman watched as the rock shivered and a thin white serpent slithered out, not away, but toward the woman, curling around her arm like a child returning to its mother. Mama Ejima's heart froze. She went to the elders the next morning. "That woman is not what she seems," she cried. "She calls snakes like one calls children. She's more, a spirit." But has she harmed anyone?" one elder asked. "Not yet, but mark my words, a spirit's love is sweeter than palm wine and deadlier than poison." The elders decided to summon the oracle of Nzu Hill to watch over Ekwueme's affairs. But love moves faster than warnings. By the time the oracle's messenger arrived, Ekwueme and Obadiah were inseparable. He carved her likeness in wood, in stone, even in clay, as if trying to capture her spirit so it would never leave him. "If the gods made you," he said once, "they were kind that day." "Do not praise the gods too quickly, my love," she replied softly. "Their kindness often hides a curse." She would sit beside him as he worked, her fingers tracing the lines of his palm. He did not notice that her touch was always cool, not the warmth of a human woman, but the chill of the deep forest. One night, under the full moon, she spoke what her heart could no longer hide. "I was not born like you, Ekwueme. My home is beneath the river. My mother is the Serpent Queen of Ume. I was sent to guard this land from those who steal from the waters. But when I saw you, my heart broke the laws of my kind." Ekwueme stared at her in disbelief. "Then let your laws break," he said. "What is love if not defiance? I will take you as my wife, Obadiah, whether you come from the river or the sky." And with that, he sealed both their fates. When the oracle of Nzu Hill came, the air grew heavy. They summoned Ekwueme to the shrine. "The path of man and spirit is a road paved with bones," the oracle chanted. "If he marries the one of scales, the heavens will tremble and the earth will bleed." But Ekwueme laughed. "I do not fear bones, nor earth, nor heaven. I have found my peace in her eyes." "Then remember this," said the oracle. "When the drums of love grow too loud, they awaken the sleeping gods." He bowed and left. That night, thunder rolled across a clear sky, though no rain fell. And far beneath the river, the Serpent Queen stared. Despite the elders' pleas, Ekwueme and Obadiah prepared for marriage. The whole village buzzed with both fear and wonder. Some said the girl had bewitched him. Others whispered that love itself had bewitched the gods. The wedding day arrived. Drums thundered, laughter filled the air, and Ekwueme's hut was adorned with palm leaves and white cloth. Obadiah looked radiant, her wrapper woven from fine silk that shimmered like river water. Mama Egema refused to attend. She sat at the edge of her compound, shaking her head. "Love has a sweet beginning and a bitter end," she muttered. "May the gods have mercy." When the night came and the last song faded, the moon climbed high. Ekwueme and Obadiah entered their new hut, surrounded by the scent of oil lamps and kola nut. He reached for her hand, and it was cold, too cold. She turned away, trembling. "Are you afraid?" he asked softly. "No," she whispered, her voice breaking. "I am becoming." Her voice grew strange, echoing as if from deep water. She fell to her knees, clutching her chest. Her skin began to glimmer, not with sweat, but with something faintly luminous, like scales hidden beneath flesh. And before Ekwueme could cry out, her bride was gone, and in her place, coiled on the floor, was a great white serpent with tears in its eyes. The serpent gazed at him, not with hunger, but with sorrow. Then it slithered toward the door and disappeared into the night. They said the serpent returned to the river that night. But some nights, when the moon is full, Ekwueme swore he could still see her reflection in the water, half woman, half spirit, whispering his name. The gods had spoken. Love between mortal and spirit was forbidden. But the heart obeys no law. And so began the tale of a man who married a woman, but woke up beside a serpent. For many moons after that night, Ekwueme wandered the village like a man half living. His eyes had lost their fire. His laughter had dried into silence. The villagers whispered that he had been bewitched. Some said he had married death itself. Children avoided his compound. His carvings lay untouched, gathering dust. Only the river still called his name. At dusk, he would walk to his banks, barefoot and hollow-eyed, listening to the murmur of the waters. Sometimes he thought he heard her, Obadiah, whispering beneath the ripples, her voice soft and broken. Ekwueme. But when he reached out, there was only cold water and silence. He began to leave food by the river, bowls of milk, beads, flowers. The elders warned him. "Do not feed the dead son of clay," said the oldest one. "The boundary between worlds must not be tempted twice." Yet love is stubborn. Every night he went back, until one evening the river shimmered under a red moon, the color of blood and memory. The wind grew heavy, and the trees bowed. The air smelt of rain, though no storm came. Then the waters parted. From the depths rose a shape, first mist, then moonlight, then flesh. Obadiah stood before him again. Her wrapper flowed like silver water, her hair trailing like dark vines. But her eyes were no longer golden. They were human again, though filled with sorrow deeper than any sea. "Ekwueme," she whispered, her voice trembling like a song remembered in a dream. "You should not have called me back." He fell to his knees, trembling. "I never stopped calling your name. Every night, every breath, it was you." She knelt beside him, her fingers cold but tender. "Love is not stronger than the laws of my kind. I broke them once, and the gods bound me to the river. But the river heard your tears. It took pity and gave me one night more." "One night?" he asked. "That is all?" She smiled faintly. "A night is long enough to remember what we were, and short enough to forget what we cannot be." They walked through the sleeping village together. No one saw them, or if they did, they pretended not to.
They spoke of old things, of laughter under palm trees, of songs they never finished, of the clay figures he carved for her. When the moon reached its highest point, she turned to him. "Come, my love, there is something you must see." They walked back to the river. The waters glowed faintly blue, like spirits dancing beneath the surface. She took his hand and led him into the shallows. The water did not soak his feet. It shimmered like light around them. Below, he saw a world, the realm of the river spirits, towers of coral, gardens of pearl, and serpents of light moving like ribbons through the dark. "This is where I come from," she said. "This is the world that can never be yours." He looked at her, tears glistening. "Then take me with you." Obidia shook her head. "You are made of earth. You belong to the sun, the wind, and the dust. To come below is to die, but there is another way." She placed her palm on his chest. "I will give you my memory, so that even when I am gone, you will never forget me." A hand glowed. He felt warmth flood his heart, a warmth that carried laughter, scent, touch, and every heartbeat they had ever shared. Then, as he opened his eyes, she was fading, her form melting into ripples of light. "Do not weep," she whispered, her voice now part of the water. "When you carve, let your hands remember me, for every stroke of your art is a prayer, and where prayers are made, love never dies." He reached for her, but only the river remained. The water stilled. The night grew silent. At dawn, the villagers found Ekwueme kneeling by the river, carving something from stone. It was the likeness of a woman, her eyes full of light, her lips almost smiling. They said he never spoke again, but whenever someone passed his hut, they could hear the soft sound of a flute, playing the song of a love that had defied gods and crossed death itself. Years later, when Ekwueme finally joined the ancestors, the villagers buried him by the river. And that night, as the moon rose full, a great white serpent was seen coiling around his grave, not in menace, but in mourning. Then it slipped silently into the water and was never seen again. The elders told their children, "Love is a beautiful curse. When it chooses you, even the gods must weep." And so, under the moonlight of Umuaka, the tale lived on, of the man who married a woman, but woke up beside a serpent.